Ayo, what's up, good people? I'm back again for a movie review once again. Last one I did was Ballerina. Um, my ultimate, probably my favorite movie of the year so far, honestly. Only because I'm such a big John Wick fan. Nothing beats that, so I'm not even trying to compare it to anything else. But I'm here for a different movie review today, and that is Dangerous Animals, a new release that actually a new horror release that actually released the same time around Ballerina, which was like 3 days ago. Yeah, but this new gem is a shark slash serial killer based horror movie, which is actually to me a very unique idea in itself because um, shark movies are one thing already. It's its own idea, but it's very unique and a really great twist that they added this whole serial killer thing to it as well. It gives it a edgy, unique vibe to it, and it's very it's refreshing, So something I've never seen before. It is in a Australian based film once again, which is very awesome. It's usually with these type of ocean, um, water type like water films that kind of revolve around the Australian setting, which is pretty cool because Australia, I mean, they're surrounded by ocean. They're known for it, essentially. So yeah, this movie stars Hassie. I think her name's Hassie Harrison. I've never heard of her before, but she's a great actress in this one. She plays a young girl named Zephyr who is a surfer. And Jai Courtney, or did I say Jai? Oh my goodness. Sorry, Jay Courtney, who plays Tucker, the serial killer, slash villain in this movie, which I didn't even realize this until I took a look at his picture again. Jay Courtney plays I keep forgetting his name from Divergent, but that guy who is like essentially the boss, and he is deemed as the bad guy, but even though he's just part of the training camp, I won't get into it, but he essentially is from Divergent, which is also is another great movie, and I didn't even realize that until no. So yeah, he's also in it. Josh Houston, I've never heard of actually. He plays one of the other characters, Moses. As well as Ella Newton as Heather, so on. So yeah, great cast. Honestly, I don't know most of these um, actors, so they're just really refreshing to see a cast who is invested in these characters, or actually who plays these characters very well, and puts on a very good performance to drive this story home. Not story home, but to drive this whole story and just create a really great, unique world, if that makes sense. I think the way they do it is really, really interesting. Director is Sean Byrne. I have not really seen him direct. Don't know other movies he's directed. I'm pretty sure he has definitely done a lot, but yeah, he's the director of this one. And again, the plot line is pretty simple, straightforward, but unique. A shark obsessed serial killer is holds Zephyr, the main protagonist. She's a surfer, captive on his boat. So basically, and she's surrounded by sharks, and he's pretty sadistic. He does some weird, awful things to young women, essentially. Not to get too much into it, but yeah, that is basically the plot line of this. And I would say more than anything, I love the suspense that was built into this film. I feel like with these types of films, it's very difficult to build that without coming off very too forced, if that makes sense, because I know a lot of these movies try to force tension and make a situation seem um, more serious than it is. Sometimes you can pull it off. Sometimes it's very difficult. Or I'm sorry. Sometimes they pull it off. Sometimes it's iffy. Depending on the creative direction you go into. So, but again, for this one, I was pleasantly surprised. Nevertheless, entertaining. It was also very like nail biting, suspenseful. You just they're like including the score or the beats in the background that really hype up and make this make every scene more intense, you know. Like, yeah, there are times where it can be predictable, and you know, you got some jump scares as with any horror movie, but I feel like this was done very well in a way where you would still get scared regardless, and or at least be on the edge of your seat, right? You know, it's very, and it's not even about the jump scares, it's about how these characters make you feel. For example, the villain here, you know, Jay Courtney, who plays Tucker. He's it's, you expect it from him, but the performance he gives is very, very, very outstanding, because he's really good at playing a bad guy. Let's just say that he's playing, you know, he brings this very unique side of this character, and not even through what he says, not even just what he does, because obviously what he does is horrible, but you know, through, you can tell this character's philosophy and methods in his own life, by by the quotes or phrases he says. You know, it's all very philosophical and kind of like riddles almost. So, and then obviously our main protagonist here fights back as much as she can, and that is the overall plot. Essentially, she needs to get out of the situation. I mean, you know, she doesn't got a lot of time before he feeds her to the sharks. You know, it's like, so it's a battle here, and the whole time, it definitely is so nail biting. You know, it's not gonna say it's the best suspense thriller horror movie ever, but I think the unique idea they had here was really, really refreshing, because it's very, I don't think I've ever even seen a movie where it involves I mean, I've seen plenty of shark movies, but not really a serial killer involved. Like, it's almost like a dual um uh battle here, if that makes sense, which is interesting in this movie too. And sorry to spoil this, if anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I would go stop this video, go see it now, you know, before anything. The interesting message and theme here I like, that I really admire, is that they portray, it's a common theme, but it's again very true and necessary to think about. They portray him, a human, right? He is essentially human, good or bad, as this, you know, dangerous animal, you know, and, you know, based on his whole character, his actions, everything, he is an evil character. He is a bad guy. Versus we all as humans fear the ocean and sharks, right? Because we view them as predators and, you know, really terrifying beings, right? But no, in this case, they come off this way, but in the end, I like how Cassie's character, Zephyr, right, is more in tune with this side and philosophy that animals are. We instinctively think animals are very dangerous and scary, right? And we fear them, but no, in the end, it's almost like saying that we what we fear, we need to fear, are people, like bad people, like in this movie that they portray Jay Courtney's character as, you know. So, which is a really cool theme. It sometimes it's overused, you know, but at the same time, I think they did really well for this one. So overall, I'm gonna keep this short. I'm gonna just say 8 out of 10. Overall, very solid movie, very entertaining from start to finish. Great performances and acting, great, you know, shots, cinematography, everything was awesome. You know, overall, not a bad movie at all. So again, 8 out of 10, just because, you know, those are my thoughts, and not really a lot of criticism. So yeah, I would definitely like to see more independent movies like this. All the time, as much as possible. I love these kinds of movies. Always need to get some recognition for these. I think this is also like a Shudder production as well, and IFC. So awesome, awesome movie. So yeah, highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already, and if you're a big shark movie fan and a serial killer fan, whatever you want to call it, combination of best of both worlds. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy this movie review of mine, and let me know what should I review next or reaction next. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!